game is running already like that.
Alright, how's it going, guys? So, I've got a lot of comments asking for my settings, so I'm just going to run through those real quick and kind of talk over why I'm using what I'm using. We'll start with the keyboard and mouse side of things. So, I'm on 800 DPI, 6.5 for sensitivity. I don't think I really messed with too much else down here. I'm just going to kind of scroll through these kind of quickly. If you need to grab anything or you want to see what I'm running, just feel free to pause it. Most of these I haven't messed with. I did mess with the automatic airborne mantle and these mantles. I turned all of these off because in Modern Warfare I died a lot to accidentally mantling objects when I was trying to jump shot. So having these off has helped me a little bit, but it does make it a little difficult to actually mantle things that are in front of you. You kind of have to spam your spacebar to get over it, but I think it's worth running for not having those accidental deaths. Automatic sprint, I do not use auto attack sprint. I probably should, but I'm used to not using it. I think auto attack sprint is probably the way if you're trying to have some good movement and swing out on some people really quickly. But I play with it off just because that's what I'm used to. I think everything else I haven't really messed with. Just gonna go through them anyways. And then my keybinds, these should be the exact same as what I was using in Modern Warfare. And I don't think I changed any of this. I think I just imported my settings from Modern Warfare and the keybinds were spot on, so just gonna go through these. If you want to grab any, feel free to pause the video and just grab what you need. Alright, now graphics I did mess around a good bit with. This is what works best for me. I think adds the best visibility for me. You probably will find stuff that works better for you, or you like things a certain way. There's also definitely settings that give you higher FPS. So don't think that these are going to give you like the best FPS possible or anything like that. This is purely just what I like for making the videos look nice and for the best visibility for me in game. So I've got VSync off always on every game I play. Aspect ratio automatic. I don't think I messed with the brightness at all either. I just have the default brightness and that works fine for me. Focus mode to off. And the only thing I really think I changed in this menu is having on-demand texture streaming. I set that to off. I was told that it helps with the packet bursts that we get mid-game all the time. But ever since I turned it off, I'm still getting the packet bursts just as often, so I don't think that actually helps with that, but I've just left it off since. Now for quality stuff. Render resolution to 100, dynamic resolution off. I keep the texture resolution to high, that way everything looks really nice for the videos. Texture filter anisotropic. I started out with this on high, but I found that I like it set to very low. Particle quality and resolution. I think these two actually do make a pretty big difference in this game, especially on maps like Red Star and Tuscan, where you have that fiery area with a bunch of smoke all over it. Having these set to high makes it a little easier to see through the particles. When they're on low, they're kind of blurry and super pixelated, makes it tough to see through them, so I'd try these on high. Bullet impacts and sprays on, love to see where my bullets are going. Shader quality low, tessellation off. These level of detail and draw distance I set to high and long just because as I'm running through the map, if you have these at off or low distance, these objects kind of pop up out of nowhere for you, and it kind of weirds me out as I'm running around the map. I'll think that like something's popping up and it could be an enemy. It like distracts my eyes, so I just like to have these on and maxed out. That way I'm not getting distracted by these random objects just popping up out of nowhere. Volumetric quality level low. off, very low, low. These two caches I keep on. I did the Modern Warfare, just doing the same thing here. Spot cache size I've set to very low, shadow quality low, particle lighting low, off for ambient occlusion, screen space reflection off. I don't use DSLS, or DLSS, but I do use this Fidelity FX CAS. I found that this is probably the biggest game changer for visibility in this game, is turning this on. I thought that 1 was a little too sharp sometimes, so I put it down just a little bit to 0.88. 8's my favorite number, so I just put it to 0.88. I think that looks pretty good. This setting resets every time I open the game. This anti-aliasing, I wish I could put this to off, but unfortunately with this game they didn't give us an off option. So we're just going to go with the lowest available option, SMA T2X. This just makes objects not blend together as much. It makes things pop out more. It's a lot easier to spot people out far in the distance and stuff like that. So I'd recommend, every time you open your game, make sure you change this to low until they fix it to where it actually saves the setting. Anti-aliasing quality low, depth of field off. And this is my viewer muted strike. I didn't mess with this at all. This was just automatically set, so. Gameplay. Oh, because I changed the anti-aliasing. Yeah, sure. Gameplay. Field of view 1 to 20. Affected. Camera move at least. This is definitely important too. You don't want your camera shaking around while you're running around the map. Motion blur off for both of these. And enable plus boost for reflex low latency. Audio settings. I keep my audio pretty low. I know, like, Handler, every time I talk to him about audio, he's always got his shit cranked up. I don't know how he does it. I can't handle it, so I just have my volume at 20. Music volume off. Dialogue I turned down a little bit. Although I'm not sure if this adjusts the volume of character dialogue in game, because you can definitely hear characters grunt and stuff. If it does affect that, I might want to crank that up so I can hear people more. Sound effects 100. Hit marker volume is 75 because they can be a little loud in this game. They're kind of sharp. Mute game and minimized off. I tab out all the time, so I gotta know when the next round is starting. Hit marker sound effects classic, of course. Audio mix headphones. I haven't really messed around with these other settings. I just kind of went with headphones and I've been using it since. I know Seek uses night mode and he swears that you can hear footsteps better with it, so feel free to try either of these out. See what works best for you. Everything else, pretty standard and preference. All this is preference again. Interface, I don't think I've messed with any of this. Yeah, I think this is all like default. I show FPS. I don't really show anything else. Controller. I have been plugging in the controller a little bit lately on this game, I'm not gonna lie. I just have a standard PS4 controller, but it's kind of fun to just plug it in and mess around a little bit. But these are the controller settings I use. I don't know anything, about like what are the best controller settings or anything like that, so these probably aren't the best at all, but this is the controller settings I use whenever I do plug my controller in. Gameplay. I'm not sure if I messed with any of this either, to be honest, for a controller. But if I did, this is what I'm using. And I think that covers everything. So yeah, I hope if you were curious about anything I'm rocking, hopefully that clears it up for you. And hope you guys have a good day. Take it easy.